Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Naomi, and I'm here with a couple of my buddies and people who have been so helpful to me in this journey. Now, hopefully my volume is working okay, because since I have two of my mods here, I actually have this on my cell phone too. So I am watching and thinking that everything is going. I see we're live. Yes, and we have volume too. Yes, yes, the technology works. So welcome everyone. And for those of you who are new to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, I'm Naomi, your host. And as you can see, I forgot to change my background. I always forget to just put Brickanista here. And so I'm going to do that really quick. Let me see if I can do that without rename. All right, Brickanista. Some of you already know I'm Naomi T. But anyway, so I'm here with my two really good friends here, Cornado, also known as Corey, and Debo, also known as Mike, but we all call him Debo Bricks. And really excited to have them both here today and hanging out with me as we talk a little bit about themselves as mods and just how the evolution of Tricky Bricks has gone, because they've been there from the very beginning. I mean, I came in when they got onto YouTube, but you two knew them when they were on Instagram. And I think you both knew each other as friends then, right? Or were you friends before you found Tricky Bricks, or did you find each other because of Tricky Bricks?
Well, when I found Tricky Bricks, it was on YouTube, and it was actually I was watching the streams like after the fact, and so I didn't catch up until the stream after the one that you were on, that Mother's Day one where it was women builders.
Oh, so you came on after me?
So it was like the episode after that, I think a Monday or something, that I finally clued in.
Wow.
And that week it was some kind of historical build challenge thing or something like that. And I remember Richard and Flynn were talking about like a sarcophagus that they did and like an Egyptian tomb thing. So I mean, that's about when I came.
So you showed up at the historical one when I think I did the Charles Lindbergh flight.
Yes.
That was the one that I did, and that was after Mother's Day. And Glenn Copeland just joined the chat. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? You get to see Debo and Corey because the three of you are always bantering in the chat all the time, which just cracks me up. I mean, I'm so appreciative of having you as mods, not only because of the technical expertise you have, but because of the fact you make me laugh all the time. And I think you also enjoy each other's company. And so that's when you started with Tricky Bricks then, Debo. And what about you, Cornado? When did you start? Because you've been following them longer, I think, right, than all of us?
Yeah, I started just following them in the Instagram days, but I didn't really like chat or anything like that. I just kind of watched the streams. Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch all of them, just here and there. And then I started watching them when they were on YouTube. Just kind of like followed them over. And I think the first build I did, the build challenge, it was a sci-fi one. And I built the first mech I ever built. So, yeah.
Oh, you joined in the mech challenge.
No, it wasn't a mech challenge. It was a sci-fi challenge.
Okay.
One of the first ones. So yeah.
I was going to say that must have been before Debo and I, because I think
mech challenge, that was my second one, and then my first one was the mosaics. I still got my mech.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I had never done a mech before until Tricky Bricks challenged us to do that.
Yeah, so I did a second one for that one too. That's the one that I did that looked like Crow from MST3K. But I did another like yellow and black one that's way over there, and I'm afraid to pick it up because I might have been a little bit liberal with the techniques, But yeah, that was like the first build challenge I ever just kind of went out there and did it. So yeah. But it was pretty early on in the show. I think they only had a couple, that kind of like warmed me up to the idea of doing it, and just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But I actually started that Viking ship before that, kind of inspired from them, like, hey, I'm gonna challenge myself to build something other than a set, And so I started building that, and then I think that took me about a year to finish because I just kind of put it aside for a while. But yeah, I think that
Viking ship was amazing.
Thank you. That mech though is probably the second mock I ever attempted them, technically, I guess.
Mhm.
So.
Well, Glenn Copeland says he's seen you a few times in Sort Lug, so he knows all about you that way.
So
So,
then this is your first time hearing me.
yeah,
'Cause I
you
never
don't
talk.
say much in Sort Lug. I think you responded once to Robbie because Robbie said hello and you said hello. I think that's all you said.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's probably it.
and I think both of you, which is interesting, both of you were just so excited about the Daily Bugle. So I'm kind of curious about, I guess, I know that Debo has a background with a lot of comic books and all of that. And so Cornado, why was the Daily Bugle so important to you? And then Debo, he answered that too.
Well, when I was, in my comic book age of, like when I first started, like 10, 11, 12, 13, the huge Spider-Man story was, Venom, Carnage, all that. So I've always been I'm actually wearing a Venom and Carnage shirt right now.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So that was like the big storyline, so they were always kind of a couple of my favorites, along with like everything else, because, once you jump in, right? So yeah, I've just always loved comics. I even made a promise to myself that I wouldn't build the Daily Bugle until I built the table, but you can probably see that right there. So there's no self-control. The subject material. And I always liked Ghost Rider and Punisher too. So, as soon as I saw that, I never thought Lego honestly would release a Punisher, minifigure. That just seemed way too far-fetched. And if you look at all the ads and pictures they put out beforehand, you can see he's like blacked out, hidden behind a car, So I was like, oh, they're getting ready to remove him, and I didn't want to, I didn't really believe it until he came out. So I might have just spent all that money just for that one minifigure, and it's totally worth it to me. So.
Do you have something in your background, Corey? Because it seems like I can hear my voice, or maybe it's you, Debo. I can hear my voice repeating from maybe a monitor or something.
I'm watching the chat on my cell phone, but it's completely no sound,
Okay, maybe it's just like, remember when I said my hearing and my sense of smell has gotten better after my face plant?
Yeah, there is a little bit of an echo. I can try and mute myself when I'm not talking to see if that.
Yeah, I can do the same.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's just me, but so you've actually started building the Daily Bugle over your shoulder. Is that what you were saying?
I got part of it. Yeah, part of it here on the table, part of it up there. I didn't have any MOCs to build. I'm kind of done with everything right now. So it was just staring at me. I had to do it.
You can work on your dream bunker.
Yeah.
That dream bunker collab that we're trying to pull together for Bricks by the Bay. There's a few of us who are doing them. So yeah, work on the dream bunker.
Yeah, I just don't have the idea for it yet. I gotta get.
Yeah, you can whip that out in a day or two. So Debo, why are you so fascinated with the Daily Bugle? Is that because of your comic book days, or?
Well, yeah, comic books, in the Marvel universe, the Daily Bugle Manhattan is essentially the center of the universe. And the center of Manhattan is the Daily Bugle. That's where everything's going down. Like the Daily Bugle, Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, and the Sanctorum, and the Baxter Building, the Fantastic Four headquarters. That's and Stark Tower, yeah, sure, but Stark Industries pops around from place to place. But that's kind of the hub of the goings on. So for the Spider-Man branch of everything, that's what's going on. Plus, like Corey said, it's Punisher. You're not going to get Punisher anywhere else from Lego. Like this is going to be it. But for me, like along those same lines, Daredevil. I like Daredevil comes in this, and it's like a sweet Daredevil. It's perfect. So that was worth the cost of it to me. Not the greatest superhero, some might argue, but he's a superhero and a lawyer at the same time. That's kind of a good thing to have.
And I can see the Daily Bugle over your shoulder as well. And if I remember right, you built that on stream in 7.5 hours, something like that?
Yep, 7.5 hours. I think I got a good start on it though, because like when I started in the morning, maybe one or two people kind of popped by and hung out in the background, but there weren't a lot of questions. So I was just kind of going with it. I think I had like a half-hour period of silence where I was just like so concentrating on getting like the base plate, everything sorted there. Because, you know, if you get a tile wrong there and you have to go all the way back and then take out 15 tiles to get to one, it's not a good situation.
Now, are you
But
thinking about modifying the Daily Bugle? I mean, now that you have it complete.
yeah, because there's not a lot of usable space in it. I mean, there is space inside, but like with the jumper plates and everything they have set up for figures, plus with all the interior stuff, it's really cramped in there. And when I do skyscrapers, I do them for maximum capacity. Like I make floors that can house 75 people. And like in the Daily Bugle, you'll be lucky on some of them if you can get 2 folks in there.
Right.
And
well, your opera house, didn't you say there's like 100 people in your opera house or something like that?
it's like 179, I think, in just the opera itself.
Right.
'Cause,
179 minifigs in that opera house.
yeah, because
Wow.
that whole rotunda up top there, the back side of it, it's all done with like curved railroad tracks to get that cylinder.
It's
So the back
amazing.
side of it is all rows of
Right.
you know, balcony, and people just watching from that. Plus there's the bottom floor, which is another good 50 figures on its own, and then the stage going out from that. And then along this outside wall where it's all glazed, that's where the band and the orchestra and everybody in the lighting
Right.
setup.
Hey, Robbie, Minifigure Collector just joined. So he probably heard you say 179 minifigures in that opera house. Now, let me ask you this, because since we're talking about minifigures, you have a database of
Yes.
all your minifigs. So how do you categorize them? I mean, is this first of all, you use a spreadsheet, I'm assuming, or do you have a full on
Yeah, it's just a
CRM?
little database. And matter of fact, that I went with like a free program or free app that I got on my phone, which was kind of a bad idea because like I can't transfer that to a desktop or anything like that. So it's like in that phone, and I couldn't transfer the file once I got a new phone for a while. It was a very weird situation there. And so that was like, I was at 1,200 figures cataloged at that point, and I didn't want to start over. So thankfully I figured out a way. And then I had like a backlog of 50 or 60 at that time that I had to catch up with. But yeah, so I just get them in there by name, get a picture of them, because sometimes they change appearance, especially if I switch out like hands or something or hairstyles. Then
Right.
for the custom ones, and I'll update it. Then
Is
like
it
if
Excel
it's something I have.
What database is it now? You said it was on your phone to begin with, and then you moved it to.
Oh, it's still on the phone, but
It's
like I
still on
had
the
to
phone?
do some kind of weird wizardry to
Seriously?
get the file to transfer over. So it's a
Whoa.
different phone. Before I was just using that same old phone because I couldn't transfer the file. So now I transferred it over to the new phone. But
Whoa.
but yeah, I get a picture on there. Classify whether they identify as masculine, feminine, unknown, like if it's an alien or something like that, or like other, like a droid or like a non-binary individual. And then I also mark down the quantity. For example, I have 7 classic blue spacemen, so I have to keep that in track. And then when I get extra CMFs, like I've got 3 centaurs hanging around town, so just keep that. And then it's just good to have on hand so you don't get too lost.
It's impressive, because when I sent you my sig fig, you said you were adding it to the manifest for the ship that you're putting my sig fig on.
Yeah, that was around before even the database. When I got my ship all put together, Be His Folly up there, like I had like 12 people on there, and I had little stories
So
behind
I'm up there,
what
right?
everybody
My
did when they
sig
were on the ship. So like their role on the ship, and when they joined, and their main duties and stuff like that, pet peeves or something like that. So I have like a manifest that's got like Gums McGinty is on there, and all the rest of the crew.
And Brickanista.
And Brickanista.
So Doc Sampson is really impressed that you're wearing Bono glasses. Just so you know.
These are my Hunter S. Thompsons, man. This isn't Bono.
Oh, that's a good segue too. But before we do that, I want to kind of get, so you have in total, how many again of minifigs in your database? If you have 179 in just the Opera House, I'm guessing you must have several thousand minifigs.
I think I just cracked 1,300. not too long ago.
1,300. Okay, that's still impressive. Wow.
And then I picked up a bulk buy like a couple days ago from like a neighbor kid, and that's another 50 I got a catalog now.
Oh my God.
But
How about
thankfully
you?
it's like a lot of clone droids and
Right.
battle droids and things. So
Now, Cornado, how many minifigs would you say you have?
I can show you them all at once right now, actually.
All at once? Wow.
Here they are.
Alexander 23 just joined us. Hello.
There's Hunter S right there. Yeah, here's all my minifigures. I everything's a piece to me, you know.
Oh,
So,
okay. Wow.
I like to make them custom, you know.
That's true. You are the master of custom minifigs. So, for example, in your fantasy town, you have all these amazing minifigs that you've created. So, what are some of your favorites, would you say, in Fantasy Town?
I like Chainsaw Guy, Chuckles the Clown. Those two. I mean, you can kind of tell my favorites because I built a building for them. You know,
the Wizard. I was just gonna say the Wizard's got to be one of your favorites too.
Yeah, the Wizard, the South Pole Elves.
Yeah, the South Pole Elves, which are actually from the elf line, the elf dwarves, right?
Here, I'll grab a couple.
Yeah, if you have not seen Corey's or Cornado's Fantasy Town, go to #Lego Fantasy Town.
I do build like custom, you know, people for
Let me see if we
in
can
town
spotlight
also.
you. Hold up. Okay.
So like my camera probably won't focus, so but like, you know, people like this, I have like a whole bag of, I'll just kind of make them if I'm sitting here doing nothing, and then, you know, throw them in a bag to kind of put out on the streets.
Oh, nice.
You know, so just a bunch of randos. Yeah, just, you know, the just kind of people that go along in Fantasy Town.
So you don't catalog your minifigs like Debo does. You throw them all into your bin and then you decide what you want to make and then you create it from all the bits, right?
Yeah, just whatever looks cool, you know.
Yeah.
To me at the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
okay, somebody said they can't see the spurs. Glenn was looking for the spurs on the cowboy because they said it's not a real cowboy if you don't have spurs.
Yeah, it's almost 100 outside. I'm not wearing my cowboy gear today. No hat or anything. Sorry, Glenn.
All right, let me take that spotlight off of you. So, yeah, I think what Glenn is referring to is that Cornado and Debo are known affectionately as Cowboy Kenobi and R2 Debo. And I have here, let me see if I can spotlight myself, is I have our little figs here. Let me see if this will focus. It kind of focuses. So R2 Debo's in the middle. We have Cowboy Kenobi and Brickanista. And this all came about because we started doing Star Wars names for the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And this is kind of, I think, goes to the sense of humor that the two of you have. You seem to gel so well together. And that's why I almost call you like brothers, right? You are, you know, spinning off of each other with your chats, and also Glenn and some others who come into the chat, and you guys make me laugh so much. So I'm going to kind of figure out where do you get your sense of humor from? Is it from your family or from pop culture or what? Uh-oh, Stephanie. Okay, what's going on with Stephanie?
Oh, there goes the animals.
Did you see that baby seal that was just here?
So for those of you who do not know the reference, I was building the baby elephant rescue set. And as I was building the baby elephant rescue set, I said, you know, what's missing is they're missing the father or the mother elephant. It's like, you know, what are they doing with these baby elephants? And I jokingly said they need to have the mother elephant saying, what are you doing with my baby? You know, chasing after them. And then we got into this discussion about, you know, they don't really finish the story, but they're rescuing the elephant. But if they're truly rescuing the elephant should be going back to the mother, right? Or the father, should be going back to the family. And so that's why Doc Samson's going, baby seal, no. So we just started joking about, so are they really rescuing the baby elephant? And I think it was somebody, it wasn't you, Cornado, but somebody said, oh, there's the elephant in the room. And then I think Cornado said, now we're getting really dark. And then we started talking about this is a poaching and a animal trafficking set. And I will never look now at a friend's rescue set the same way ever since that stream. Yeah. And I'm just curious about your sense of humor, both of you. I mean, it's just, you play off of each other so well. And I think Debo, I'm going to ask you first. You must have liked South Park a lot. As far as, because you've referenced South Park a couple times. You've said, for example, rescue animals, ? Profit, right? From the Underpants Gnomes.
Phase 1, rescue animals. Phase 2, phase 3, profit. Yeah. So South Park, I've been watching like since it came on. Matter of fact, the first movie that Tiffany and I went to like on our first date was the South Park movie. So, seriously?
Oh, how funny!
Yeah. So that clues you in on my age at least a little bit. I mean, and then just been watching it ever since. And I mean, the last episode, the pandemic episode, is just awesome. But yeah, it's just something that's been in my life for a while, and it's just keyed in so much into pop culture now that I mean, if I say cliff diver's cool, people know.
And I think you were the one who came up with the idea of panda cliff diving as well.
I came up with that. I think somebody said something about diving in cliffs, and then I was like, cliff diver's cool. And then I think that just kind of keyed in the direction that was already going in.
Well, I could not have come up with that idea on my own. So I'm so excited to be able to show that mock for Tricky Bricks for the Let's Go Camping mock.
But you were also the one that mentioned Sad Panda too. So yeah.
Yeah, I am a South Park fan as well, because the thing about South Park is they can really go racy because of the animation. And one of the episodes where I just died laughing was when they had Martha Stewart teaching people how to cook the new way, where instead of going through the mouth and pooping through the butt, it went the other way around. And I just died laughing when I saw that, because first of all, Martha Stewart, I think it was around the time that she was arrested. And so they were talking about her, I think, recovery and how she can now be this host of this new cooking show. And when they start doing things like that, you just think they can really push the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to catch up on the chat here too. Oh, Shane Levan's here. Hey, Shane. Welcome to the stream. And Glenn Copeland says South Park, The Spirit of Christmas, Jesus versus Frosty, 1992 is one of his favorites too. And that's great. So what about you, Cornado? You must be a South Park fan too, because you laughed at that comment about the Underpants Gnomes.
No, and I've dropped a couple South Park jokes on Tricky Bricks too, which I mean, they weren't appreciated. I mean, they weren't bad, but I didn't seem like anybody was a big fan of them. What's his name from I'm Bored Toys? He really liked them, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, now we have a place for the South Park references.
I'll save them for the
Brickanista broadcast.
But my sense of humor is because I have 3 older brothers, and if they were laughing, they weren't beating me up, so it just evolved. Yeah. So just one of those.
Yeah, it's a good defense mechanism. Comedy.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah.
Now, are you also, Debo, are you the youngest in your family? Or I shouldn't have,
No,
I should assume that as far as
I'm the oldest of 3. My sisters were a pain. And so, I mean, but yeah, no, like my dad is responsible for most of it. Cause like he raised me on like a steady diet of Jonathan Winters and Don Rickles and things like
Don
that.
Rickles, because you're known as Don Brickles.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Debo
Rodney
is
Dangerfield, you know, the classic comedians that you know, the good delivery and stuff like that. Like Robin Williams was, you know, I was just glued to the screen anything he was on when I was a kid.
I loved Robin Williams.
And then I watched Awakening, so I was like, my world is changed dramatically. But
so you're the oldest
so, I mean,
of how many, Debo? You said you have some younger sisters. You're the oldest of two?
Oldest of three. So I got two younger sisters.
Okay, so you're the oldest of three. And then Cornado, you said are you the youngest of four boys or?
Well, I have two older stepbrothers who are around, and then I have one older brother that's like a year and a half older than me. But my stepbrothers are both like 10 plus years older. One of them's passed away. So yeah. So two brothers still going. One of them lives here close to me, and then one lives in Livermore, which is about 45 minutes away.
So you're the baby of the family then?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so.
Well, you all met my brother during my birthday stream, so it's just the two of us. And I think that our sense of humor also came from pop culture. And when you were talking about Rodney Dangerfield and Don Rickles and some of those too, I think it's just that kind of sarcastic, witty sense of humor and kind of throwing down just a different look at the way things are in our society. I think that's why when that whole thing came up with the Friends set, we all just kind of built up on each other. And now, Debo, you said you're thinking about putting together Stephanie versus Octan with regard to the animal rescues.
Well, I mean, at first it appears like, you know, just kind of a joke play, like we're, you know, making a play on things. But the deeper you dive into this, like the more you uncover, and you start asking questions like, where did that Jeep come from? How did they get the submarine? Why are they getting helicopters and jets, private jets, limousines? How did your friends get all this stuff? Like being kids, like they're still in school. So something's up. And I'm thinking that the black market animal trade might have something to do with it. But it goes deeper, because I think all the businesses they have in town, definitely money laundering fronts. So it's going to be more of a documentary process that I'm going to go in here to try and find out what's happening, what's behind it. But I think at the root of it all,
follow the
Stephanie
money.
And Octan have been in cahoots for a little bit.
Now, do you think now that they've rolled out the Carnival line, that the next wave of Friends is going to be Carnival rides and things like that? Do you think they're going to mesh the rescuing of the animals with the Carnival sets?
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's, you know, the carnivals are going to be just one thing, but they've got the fever for it. They're not going to give up the animal rescue so easily. I mean, they're going to pursue this over time. You watch. There'll be more sets.
Well, Alexander 23 thinks that Friends is going all Tiger King and Carol Baskins, apparently.
I'll buy that mini dog. Sure.
Well, and it's funny, I wanted to give a shout out to Shane Levan, because Shane and Joriel Builds had started a Tricky Lug After Dark on Instagram a while ago, right around the time that I think all of us started watching them on YouTube. And I think now we were talking about, this is now the new Tricky Lug After Dark, because we can talk about South Park jokes and other things. And, you know, I stream at 9 o'clock at night, which is pretty late, even, you know, West Coast time. And Debo, you're on at like midnight when I'm streaming, which I just think is amazing. So let me ask both of you, what do you do for a career, or what's your profession at the moment? I mean, I know that for me, I'm a consultant, so I have a flexible schedule, which allows me to kind of stream at odd times. So Debo, why can you be up at midnight?
Well, because before the thing went down, I worked for Panera Catering. And we dealt mostly with Michigan State University and the state of Michigan. But, you know, when everything got shut down, of course, they shut down first. Like Michigan State University went down before like the entire country did. So like there was a good scramble of a couple weeks where we got like all of our calls that were coming in were just order cancellations for like everything that was planned for months in advance. So it was essentially, I rode the thing down. It's still around. It's just a skeleton crew of like 3 people. They went from like 25 people on staff to just 3. So it's right now it's just a waiting game of, is Michigan State going to ramp back up in time before I find something else, or who knows. But for the meantime, my occupation is building Lego and minor yard maintenance. So
I wanted to say hello to Joel Pokemon or Joe Pokeball Dameron. Marbella, how are you? You didn't get a notification. Well, we were talking about Zoom kind of acts a little weird. So, but I'm glad you're here. And Brick Literacy is here. Welcome, Remy. In fact, I have your box here. So after I ask Cornado his profession question, then we'll open your box, because I gave Cornado and Debo a heads up that if you're here, we will open the box on camera. And Tero Knutinen is here. Welcome from Finland. Good to see you here. Cool. Okay, so Cornado, what is your profession, and what brings you to what gives you the ability to buy all these sets? I guess is probably the question.
I don't really buy a lot of sets, but I work for the government. I do IT work for the government, the county government here. So we support child protective services, senior services, benefits, county benefits, all that stuff. So that's my day job, and that's why I'm mostly on at night, because I'll get home from work, take care of my daughter, and then by the time that she's all wound down and everything, that's when I can hop on. So if I'm ever late, it's because she had too much caffeine or something. I don't know, but yeah. So it's just perfect timing. That's why I was able to watch Tricky Bricks in the beginning on YouTube, because I kind of piloted the whole work from home thing for our business. So I was at home from like March till I think it was like August. So that's when I was able to do things during the day. But now I'm back at work during the week, so it's a little bit harder to see the show. So I'm mostly either watching reruns or I can't chat. I'm just like listening in. So just depends on the program. So we've just been so busy. I mean, I had to work yesterday too, so it's been a lot to do. So.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're here, and that's interesting that you're in the IT business, because I used to be in IT a lot back in the day. I worked for Cisco for like 9 years, and IT work is stressful. Yeah. So really, really glad to see that you're doing well there. It seems like, even though there's a lot of work to do. But so I wanted to see, now that Brick Literacy is here, welcome, Remy. Brick Literacy had a raffle on his show, and I've got this box that he sent. So I wanted to, let me put my down camera on just a second, because I had to mute it earlier. So let me start a video. Let me just turn this on. Hopefully, can everybody see that? Can see my video? Okay, cool. All right, let me spotlight this. So for anybody who was here last night, I did my first thing called mock improv, and this is the outcome of that. Essentially, the Centurion was the minifig that was picked randomly, and he's doing a deal on the beach with the gingerbread woman who's selling him this white baguette underneath the boardwalk. And I did this in 90 minutes. It was the first time I've done mock improv. We had a lot of fun, and I've already asked Cornado and Debo if they would want to do like a build off. So maybe in a future show, we're still trying to figure out the date when we'll do mock improv build off. So we'll all look at our minifig collections, and then we will spin the wheel, and then we'll each come up with something in 90 minutes time and then show it to the camera. So that's what I wanted to show everybody. But here, hopefully there's enough room here. I'm going to have it this way because I don't want you all to see my address. Right? It's a P.O. box though, that's okay. If it ends up getting out on the internet, it's not too bad of a problem. But so he sent this prize pack, so I'm excited about this. So thank you, Remy, by the way. So if you're not following Remy, by the way, Brick Literacy is his YouTube account. Also, Debo has Debo Bricks as a YouTube account. So definitely check them out when you get a chance. You really packed this well, Remy. This tape is super, super tough tape. All right, I think I got it. All right, so let's see what's in the box. Also, the box may or may not be filled with novelty spring snakes. Now you tell me. Twist. Okay, cool. So here's a little note from Remy. It says, "Hey Naomi, happy belated birthday. Thank you. I hope you can celebrate the way you want to this year, as opposed to what I assume was a Zoom party last year." Yes, you are right. It was a Zoom party last year. I'm thrilled you're on your first giveaway, or you won our first giveaway. Thank you so much for all your support. Keep building, Remy. So thank you so much. And look, we've got some dots packs. Look at that, dots. And I'm hoping there's a rainbow poop in here, because this is the one you can see with the little rainbow poop. So thank you. You probably saw earlier that I was doing that. So another pack. We have also a dots bracelet. Thank you so much. And this is cool. We have a Speed Champions build. I'm so excited about this. I don't do a lot of cars, and I have a few, but this is going to be so much fun. So thank you so much. And this is 203 pieces of Ford Fiesta M Sport WRC. So thank you so much, Remy. That is awesome. All right, so let me remove this spotlight and put my down camera off. Stop the commentary here. There we go.
Is that your first Speed Champion set?
I don't think so, because I think this is Speed Champions too, right? The Dodge, a Dodge Chargers. So I was told when I was, for those of you who don't know, I had also interviewed for Lego Masters Season 2, and one of my friends, Ferg, is big into cars. So he told me, if you want to know about cars, you got to build the Dodge Charger Challenger set. So that's what I got. And I love it. I actually love it. I will say, if you are going to do these, though, I don't know if Debo and Cornado, you've done any of these, that I recommend you put the stickers on after, because the instruction book will tell you to put the stickers on first and then put it on the car, but then the lines don't line up. So
yeah, you got to see how it's laid out, because all the stickers, especially the ones that have like a design line that runs through like a door panel, sometimes they have to butt up just right. So,
exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's
so
definitely a post thing.
I think I did a pretty good job on that right there.
Yeah, that's good.
That came out okay, but I just noticed that on, I think the other one, something wasn't quite right, and I just said, oh, don't tell me to put the sticker on first and then put it on the car. It should be the other way around. And I wonder if they did that because it's designed for kids, right? So maybe for kids, like this one says 7 to 14, right? Yeah. It says ages 7 to 14. So I'm not even supposed to be building this. Usually they say 7+. So I thought that was kind of interesting, right? So maybe that's why they do that. I want to check up on the chat. So yeah, Brick Literacy, thank you again. He says you're welcome. And that's great advice in general. I always learn the most from these Speed Champion sets, and you can just ignore the stickers if you want. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you again. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll schedule a stream where I'll be building this specifically, and I'll let you know. In fact, maybe I should just have you on. Do you have this, Remy? Do you have another one? Maybe we could build it together. It might be fun. I think that's something that I'm going to try doing with this channel. As you can see, I've got Cornado and Debo here, that we're already talking about doing mock improv as a group. now that we've proven, we did a test run yesterday and it was so much fun. And having the audience give us the activities and the locations, and then we do a build off. So be prepared, it's gonna happen. Next one's gonna be Looney Tunes. We were just talking about, we're gonna go through our Looney Tunes collection of minifigs and then see where we go from there. All right,
And I
cool.
saw earlier Remy said that he wanted to get in on the build challenge for that.
Oh, you want to get in on that? Okay. Okay. Well, why don't we, we'll talk some more about logistics, because we want to be able to, you know, maybe what we do is we might even spin the wheel. Well, we'll have to think about it, because we give each other only 90 minutes to do the build. So we have to look at the collection, put those people or those minifigs on the wheel, and then we figure out, okay, we're going to do this with Bugs Bunny. And Bugs Bunny is going to be doing something, or like if it was just like the last one, Bugs Bunny at the beach doing a shady deal underneath the docks, right? That just the whole way it evolved. I couldn't have asked for a better result. It really came out great, because we even got tips from people as I was building. Like Glenn, for example, said, hey, you need a railing to put onto the boardwalk. You know, there's things I would have changed because I don't have the same colors that I would have had, but I'm really glad it came out the way it did. A build off requires organized and sorted bricks. So that means I'll be a spectator. Okay, Joel, no problem. Okay, so
Organized and sorted bricks.
I was going to say, I'm not organized. You saw I was scrambling for my tan plates, what I was going to do. You just have to see what you have in your collection. Okay, so let me ask you. So Cornado, of all the builds that you've done, which is the one that you're most proud of?
Let me look. No, I really like the Wizard House. That was the one that I think I like forced myself to really like make the most detailed, you know, and not cut any corners, or you know, actually wait to order the pieces, not just use what I have, or you know. I really like that one. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know about the Wizard House, he also, that one, you started with the basement on that one, right? With the dungeon area, and then you built up from there?
Yeah, it was yeah, I don't know where it came from. You know, you just start building one thing, and I was like, okay, then I'll put a castle on top of it. And I thought, well, no, because that's too much gray, you know, with already having the dungeon at the bottom, you know. So I thought, you know, I just like kind of make it a dungeon, but like now he uses it as his like man cave, you know. And then I put the house up on top. So you know, just you know, the ideas pop in there and you run with them. So that's the kind of fun thing for me, is building late at night like that. I feel like I get the most ideas because I'm almost like delirious from being so tired, you know. And that's when that stuff comes to me, you know. And I mean, I really think that's where I get my best ideas, or when, anyways. So, yeah.
Well, I think we've shown already that the three of us are severe night owls. I mean, Debo, you show up at midnight your time. It's 9 o'clock my time, but I'm usually up till 2 or 3 in the morning. And I think that's the same for maybe the two of you. And maybe Cornado, since you're working a 9 to 5 kind of job, you probably have to go to bed earlier. 4 in the morning for you, Debo?
Generally, that's when I try and do a hard cutoff. But like if like I'm knee deep in a build and like things are just kind of rolling, like my eyes will be blurry, but I'll still try and like I'll keep going until the point where when I try and put something on, it just keeps exploding. So then I'll step away.
Yeah. So what is the build that you're most proud of, Debo, of your collection?
Does the city in its entirety count? Because I mean, that's like, I don't know if I can pick out a building.
You don't want to make any of them jealous, right? Just like,
yeah, I really don't. I don't want to deal with landlords
talking about, oh, we're not going to get a tax break this year because you didn't give us a shout out.
You have an amazing city. You really do.
Yeah, it goes around.
The first building that was in your city?
The first building that was in my city, geez, like they all started out as like these really thin, like two stud wide facades on the back of a bookshelf. And then I just kept getting bulk brick and stuff. And I discovered Bricklink, and I just like would load up on penny pieces and stuff. So like one of the first ones I built, like they're not even here anymore, the original buildings, but I did a one of the ones that I set out with a plan, like Corey said, and got all the pieces and waited and got, you know, was just right. You know, did it proper. Like it was like it was a big glass style skyscraper, but instead of glass that I didn't have at that time because it was pretty pricey, it was just blue brick that was up there to look like, you know, blue glass. So that one was pretty sweet. It was tall, comparable, you know,
had to
to some of
tear it
these, but that's where a
down
lot of this blue came from.
to make room for the rest of your city.
Every time I get more brick, just because I don't like have a lot of storage for brick, so I have to recycle that into the city. So it's got to move on in. So every time I get a fresh big batch of color, that goes into one of the pre-existing color buildings, and it just gets bigger and redesigned. And some of these things have been like in a constant rotation for bricks and stuff. Like the red building over here, always getting rebuilt.
Well, the Commissioner Gordon sign, since it's kind of in your frame, will you be changing that billboard to have other phrases maybe?
Well, I mean, it's the phrase on there is kind of the point for me having it in the first place. Like, cause I for some reason that's the kind of joke my mind likes to see all the time. So,
and for those of you
that's been
who
up there.
don't know the
I've
joke,
you know, I'm used to it now. I could change it to Eat at Joe's or something like that. But like I like where it's at, and getting in there to redo those tiles is going to be such a pain. So
can you share with everybody about, I mean, I know the backstory about the why Commissioner Gordon sign, but maybe not everybody knows that.
It was the movie 3 Billboards Outside of was it Ebbing,
Missouri.
Yeah. Where the mother who's a victim, or mother whose daughter was a victim of crime, was very upset with the local constabulary. So she rents these 3 billboards to call them out on it, and then to try and motivate them to do something about that. So that is kind of a play on that. And it's just like why Sheriff Willoughby is the first one. And then like there are 2 more billboards that really lay into them. So I that one was so expensive to put together. I just like, all right, we're gonna be good with 1 billboard. People are gonna get the point. 1 billboard inside Gotham City.
All right. Well, I just think it's great. And it's been inspirational seeing both of you with all of your cities put together. And I haven't really done as much to my city, but now that I've built the helicopter, I need to build the landing pad. So my next big project city-wise will have to be this big skyscraper for the helipad. But I'm more of a pirate person though, so what I love about buildings is that there's some symmetry to them and structure, you know, it's orderly. And I think, as you know, my city always has to have water. So I've got piers and wharves and things that I've been working on. So, all right. So Alexander 23 also mentions that his best work comes at 4 in the morning as well. As far as when your brain is all whacked out and you're doing things. So let me ask both of you. So Cornado, which AFOL inspires you, or which artist that, you know, is in the Lego space is one that you enjoy looking at his or her work or their work?
Early on, I'd say it was probably JK Brickworks. He's the one that got me started building outside of sets. You know, it's like he was the first one that I kind of saw that, you know, because I mean I've been back into building since like 2016, but I just, you know, buy a set when it comes out and build it. I was like, oh, there's a whole kind of, you know, community here, and it was kind of through him that I figured, you know, found all that stuff. So him, and then Build Better Bricks, which is like, you know, Boone and Tyler, and you know, I can't, I'm losing names here, but Tyler Kleitz, I guess, indirectly, because like a lot of his Build Better Bricks MOCs are, you know, some of my favorites. So yeah, probably those 2 guys.
Cool. How about you, Debo? Who inspires you?
Uh, well, at first I didn't really have like anybody, because I didn't really discover the AFOL community until this last year. So like I was aware of JK and some of the other folks for the longest time, but a lot of my influence, just because I've been like I've been creating most of my life, so like a lot of that comes from architects and painters. So Frank Lloyd Wright, Mies van der Rohe, just a ton of other names I could throw out there, architecture wise, and painters, you know, like Van Gogh, Gauguin, like the use of color that those guys got, and then Rembrandt with like the lighting and things.
Mhm.
So like there's a lot that plays into it from that. But mostly when I see something that somebody's built and it looks fantastic and stuff, I kind of want to see if I mean, I can go make something that'll maybe go toe to toe with that, and I fail a lot. But like it's just the what can I do? You know, like my mind is always wanting to compete with other people. So that's one thing that drives my building on, is like, can I do this? Can I get to that point? You know,
Right.
kind of thing.
So Matthew Builds Bricks says hello. Hello, Matthew.
Oh, hey, Matthew.
And so since we're talking about building and other artists and such, we should mention that Debo has an ideas project that I think, didn't you, you just put it up and it's already broken 100.
Yeah,
followers.
I checked maybe 5 minutes before the broadcast. I think I'm like 158, somewhere around there. So I
Yeah.
just got 150. And I told myself at 100, I was gonna get like the videos going for it and everything, and get a new Instagram post up and everything like that. But that was 58 votes ago, so I'm still trying to catch up and get that going. But yeah, it's kind of slowing down right now. But yeah, it's the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea Nautilus playset. And so it's a Nautilus. It's about 2.5, maybe 3 foot long. So it's a surface Nautilus that, you know, has access to the hatch, the air vents there. You know, you can see the windows and such, and it's got the little skiff that comes out the back. Plus, it has like 5 minifigures and a giant squid. So I mean, all the things you need to make a fun time with it are right there.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't following him, make sure you follow him and support that. And it's dope, yo. That's right. Thank you, Cornado. And speaking of it's dope, yo, thank you, Matthew Builds Bricks, by the way. He had created a really amazing card for me for my birthday that said it's dope, yo, and rebrick this, hashtag rebrick this. And for those of you who haven't been following Debo and I, we've been working on this Free Brick This challenge. And since we were talking about Jason Alleman, that Jason Alleman, JK Brickworks, he also did a rebrick on the Wild Lions set. And I think some people may be curious about how that all started. So I think I'll just start by saying I was on a stream and I was working on the Minions set. And then Debo chimed in and he goes, you know, that would make a really good rebrick challenge. And then we started chatting and we just decided, okay, let's do this. And we started choosing different sets. And we are in the middle right now of the Wild Lion set, which is our 4th challenge, which has been fun. And I'm curious about, since we've been doing these rebrick this challenges, how have you kind of gone through your process? Because for people who are new to this, it might be good to take a look. I think both of you have been doing the rebrick this challenges, right? As far as I know.
I've done one, but I think Debo's done all of them. Yeah, I just did the.
Well, yeah, Debo's kind of obligated to do it.
Yeah. I kind of have a choice.
It's kind of his thing. So, or your guys' thing. So, no, I'm just kidding. I just did the one. I've tried to get sets, and just like with this like Liz seed part challenge, there's nowhere around me. You know, like, so I just try to get it when I can. Of course, the one with the little what was it, the drone one? Like the week after that challenge was done, of course, it showed up in my Target. So, you know, it's just whatever. So I just, you know, the Lego store is quite a drive for me. So it's like, well, not quite a drive. It's a little dramatic. It's like an hour away. So I don't go too much. But Bay Area traffic and stuff like it kind of turns you off to wanting to go that way. a lot.
Well, I think you and Joel, Pokeball, Dameron, Marbella are scheduling a meetup sometime soon, because I remember you two were talking
Yeah.
back and forth about that.
Yeah, I was hoping to do it yesterday, but then of course I had overtime at work. So yeah, hopefully soon. So my daughter's kind of entering her dark ages, so she doesn't really care to go anymore. She'll go because it's like, okay, Dad will go, but like I don't want to. So when I'm with her, I do other things. So I try to do it on the weekends I don't have her, and this weekend just got filled up quick. So maybe maybe a couple weeks. So. But I do have that Octan torso for you, Joel, if you're still here.
So Debo, when you go into a rebrick this, what's your process, or do you have a process? Because I don't think I actually have a process. I just kind of look at things and I just start connecting things. I'm a very tactile builder.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
curious
kind of how I
about-
started out too. Like I get,
Mhm.
I'll make the first 3 builds, the original 3 builds that are in there, just so I, get more familiar with what pieces are available. And then I just break it all down, put it in a pile in front of me. And then, I see a fun piece, I pick it up and I, see if there are other ones that maybe complement it and just kind of put that together, break it down. And then usually in the first couple minutes, I start to see something, or I see something that's so horribly wrong, I have to alter it in some unrecognizable way. And usually that'll lead to something different. So, I mean, inspiration comes from all kinds of places when you're doing it. Because when I was putting together that, and this is why I had to get like 2 of the sets so far, because when I was putting together the one rebrick that I did live, which was that little face that I had come up with that creepy mustache guy.
The mask, yeah.
Yeah, so at some point when I was doing that, like I had gotten the face just right, and I knew I had to come back with it because I was making the Syphil and Ollie stuff that I had done. And then there's a third character on there, his name is Chester, who's I won't go into too much detail about Chester, but Chester's not dealing with a full deck, So and I've always been a fan of the character. And while I was putting together, I was like, oh my God, I see Chester's face in that. So I was working with it, and I'm kind of working on Chester just a little bit. But I've got to get bigger. Like he's got when they made his face.
I love the eyes.
Bigger things coming off there on the side. Yeah.
Now, are those translucent red eyes, those dishes?
Yep, translucent red eyes with the stud behind it, and then a tile on the front. Wow.
I love the snout too, how you have the 1x2 rounded with holes.
Yeah, that took some doings. And
that's adorable.
I've got another one of these little brackets somewhere, but I can't find it. I'd rather have a 2-stud connection. But this works right
awesome.
now. So yeah, little Chester.
You have a gift of doing faces and shaping. And I'm just kind of curious about, do you just have like this amazing collection of curved pieces? And because you think about Tyler Kleitz, both of you were talking about him earlier, that, he does a lot of shapes for builds. And I'm just kind of curious if you have that too.
I don't. I try and keep as many on hand as I can. But pretty much what I do is just try and see what I can come up with from what I have. Man, I shouldn't have worn those glasses. Everything in here is so bright now.
You can put the sunglasses back on. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to.
That's okay. I think somebody was who was it who was messing with you earlier? Doc. I think Doc was talking about you having Bono glasses. Yeah. So, or Bono.
Yeah, but yeah, I got to see there was some kind of Lego Masters promo or some after the fact thing, and it could have been when he was working on his because Tyler did a Stitch for Lego Ideas. But like I saw like the shelves that dude's got behind him, like to work from. He's got all the curves. Every curve that you can imagine, like right there. Yeah.
I have it in black.
I'll start sculpting something, and then I'll see what I need to get that angle just right, and then I'll try and I might do like a different part color substitution just to see if like the angle jives and stuff, and then I'll Bricklink stuff, or go on to Bricklink, figure out what set is available right now that's got a lot of those bits, and then see if anybody's got it on sale, that kind of thing. I try and do that less and less because I have not a lot of room to keep things, so I don't want to get in the habit of having
we all
too many
have that
sets
problem.
Yeah.
which probably goes to the next question, which is how do you sort your things? And do you feel like, I'll just be honest with you, in my space here, I mean, I live in a small apartment. I live in a 600 square foot apartment, and really all I have is for my build space is what's behind me and this table that's in front. And I have a couple of drawers, but things are really kind of chaotic. So I'm kind of curious about what's your sorting process? So Cornado, why don't we start with you?
I mean, by piece, mostly I keep everything like in groups, like, you know, 1x slopes, 2x slopes. I have a big drawer full of like all the curved pieces, one that has like all the automobile stuff, you know, one with every like round piece. I have all my 1x2 bricks like in a big thing because I have so many of those. Yeah, just kind of like in like kind of large groups, and then they in like a big plastic container, and then I'll put them inside bags, you know, from there. But I don't really sort by color ever because most of my stuff is like piece driven, you know. Yeah.
Right. And how about you, Debo?
Well, for me, like there have been some builds that I've been doing lately that are like I need, you know, I'll go through and I'll take all of that color out of all my bins and try and put that in the one spot. So I've got that to work with. So if, you know, if one connection kind of works, then I got that. If not, I've got like something else I could use as an alternative, but trying to keep stuff together. So like I put all my yellow together so I could make this bird.
Wow.
Stuff like that. And then, you know, all my medium lavender, put that all together. And then like Aquamike suggested the Thanos face. So I went ahead and did the Thanos face with it. But in general, most of my stuff, yeah, it's like Corey's. Like I got all my 45-degree 1x2 slopes here. I got all my 45-degree 2x or longer slopes in this thing. You know, your 33-degree slopes here, your shoulder curves, you know, your regular 2x2 curve slope, things like that. So like I've got an entire and the stuff I usually use, because I don't have any place really to put like Agro Mills stuff, because like all my available space is for the city along the walls.
Yeah.
So I've got these. This is the only one I've got at this type, but it's generally stuff with like inner compartments. And like this one is mostly my mechanical and tires bits. And so there's fences in here. I've got like a sea of tires, spiral staircases, engine parts, things like that. So, and then I've got one that's pretty much just for plates and snap pieces. Like, yeah, so it gets pretty well sorted. But like if I'm sorting a big bulk set of something, I'll go through there, and the first thing I'll do is I'll pull out brick, and then I'll pull out slopes, and then plates go there in their own pile. And once all that gets sorted out, then everything else just kind of goes into its own thing. And generally the smaller bits like Technic and cheese slopes and 1x1 tiles and plates, those are the last ones to go through and get got. But yeah, it's a work it down from the largest bits system when I sort it.
Right. Well, I want to say, Glenn says he's got to go. Maybe he's left already, but if you haven't.
Yeah, I think Glenn took off.
Thanks, Glenn. He had another meeting to go to. But since you mentioned lavender, we need to talk about the lavender lug. So this came up last night because I was building and Debo said, lavender, you need more lavender. And so I did put some lavender. You can kind of see it. There's a little bit of lavender on the bottom where the water is. And then I built this lavender, you can see it better from this side, a lavender bench. And then Debo is lobbying to create lavender lug. So let's talk a little bit about that. Because I think
it's just,
Cornado said he was down.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of like medium lavender for a while. Light regular lavender, it's okay, but I mean it's not as rich. But anyway, it's still a good and viable color. And you know, when it's used correctly, it looks fantastic. But there's been, you know, people who've been dissing the lavender here and there, and really what lavender lug is about is bringing awareness of the color and how beautiful it is and how well it interacts with everything else. So lavender lug, is something we're trying to start. So if you build make a build that's got like a lot of lavender or a good amount
hashtag
lavender representation, hashtag lavender lug. And we're also thinking of tagging somebody that you don't think appreciates lavender as much as they should. Let them know that there are good lavender builds out there. You know, just reach out and just say, hey.
Specifically, but there are some people who don't like lavender. And I mean, I don't like that butter yellow color. So I hope that there isn't that light yellow hashtag and then I get tagged on that. But
yeah, when butter lug comes around, you're gonna have to watch out because you're gonna be tagged with so much.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this last night after the stream because you talked about lavender lug. And there is a guy here in Seattle who has Turk lug because he loves turquoise, which is furred ponds, also known as Artifice 12. So what he did is he came up with some turquoise bricks, these 1x8 bricks like you would get at a show. And he has hashtag Turk lug on them. And he bestows them on people who have really appreciated turquoise. And I have one of those because I built like a big turquoise mock for this challenge. So I'm thinking we may need to put together a lavender lug hashtag lavender lug brick. And that if you put together a really awesome mock using lavender, you will get one of those bricks. What do you think about that idea?
I don't know if we could find a lavender brick in their right size.
Well,
I don't know if they have them in 1x6s or longer. I know they got them in 1x4s. But I
Brick
mean,
Literacy says Turk lug for life. I mean, we'll have to take a look.
Turk lug represent.
Can you get turquoise or not turquoise, a lavender brick in a 1x8? Because the coral bricks were in 1x6.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they exist in that length. But
we're going to have to do some research. We'll have to do some research, do some Bricklink searches, but it sounds like Brick Literacy is already a member of Turk Lug. So if we create Lavender Lug, you're hearing us now on the Brickanista Broadcast Network that we may have a Lavender Lug challenge coming up. Look at the look on Debo's face, like, oh yeah, we're so down for the Lavender Lug challenge. He's got the Thanos head to prove it. So if we do a lavender lug challenge, we could also do this. We could put it on a white brick and use lavender as the text color. We could do that too.
Could do that.
I'm sure that's doable. I know the peeps who could do that. So stay tuned, everyone, because lavender lug is probably coming to you soon. Okay, so just kind of I think this is probably a good time to wrap things up and just kind of curious about what are your next projects? What are you working on next? So Cornado, what's your next one? I know you kept saying, I don't have anything right now, but
I do. I have. I don't know if you remember like those. Like it was so long ago. Those the steampunk airship things and the train.
yes.
I'm gonna do a building for the, because I had those minifigs, the twins, and I'm gonna build them. I was thinking about doing, because most of my city is, it's the 32x32 base plate, so I was gonna get 4 of them and put them together and do like, a landing pad for the airship, a garage for the car, and like a station for the train. So when I put this, town together, that's where the train starts and ends, basically.
Nice.
So I want to just because, if I want, I think I always see like when they're building on TV or at convention, it's like I always think like, oh, big doesn't necessarily mean good. You know what I mean? But I kind of like I want to build something big now though, like at the same time. So just like contradicting my thoughts. But yeah, so I think that I'm just gonna try to build like a big building for them and then kind of make it the centerpiece there. So yeah. Nice. Stick within that color scheme of the white, purple, and gold.
The white and the purple, and add some lavender.
Yes, there is lavender. So yeah, so we'll have some lavender in there too. Lavender lug. No, that's funny because like Remy put Turk lug for life. Like when I was building the South Pole Elves, I used all the turquoise. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm ripping Remy off right now. Like not like it's turquoise, but I was like oh, this is Remy's color scheme here, but that was like what I had the most of. You know what I mean?
It's not just Remy though.
Yeah, but I mean, just like, because I think he had just built a building that had a bunch of turquoise in it too at the same time. So with the turquoise and pink, and so that's a really cool color scheme. So anyway.
So Debo, what's your next project?
Well, I'm kind of in the middle of one. I'm waiting on some Bricklink stuff to show up. Like I need some finger plates and hinge plate thingies to show up because I'm working on the Phoenix here. So to finish off the feathers, to do the feathers right, like I just kind of slapped them on there, but they need to get it appropriately attached. Trying to, I got pieces coming in for the tail, so that's hopefully going to be soon. Trying to work on the face here to get that a little bit more in line because it's based on a comic book character from Japan. It's Tezuka's Phoenix series, which if you haven't read it, read it. It's by the same guy that did Astro Boy and Blackjack and all the good stuff. But yeah, it's Mythical Bird of Fire. So that's something I'm working on there. And I'm also kind of constantly in the back of my mind, always working on my Snack Foods acquisition Sentai Robo, which is this band of robots that may or may not have been kicked off by the whole Stephanie meeting with Octan thing, that go back in time to kill dinosaurs to make more oil for the future. So they got
attempts to kill dinosaurs, by the way.
Okay, we got to talk about this because for people who do not know this, Debo and Cornado have had this ongoing rivalry between their two different factions. So Debo is named as SARS, right? Here, let me spotlight you because this is actually pretty funny about the two of you. Is you've got this ongoing rivalry with these two factions of different, I want to say devices, but okay. So in your case, this acronym is SARS, right? SARS?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just because for some reason in my mind, like the fact that they need oil, you know, for them, like they think of it as snack food. So to them, oil is snack food. So they're all about snack food acquisition. And that's the thing. But yeah, Corey's got his the fully armored robot or reptile transport. And then when I did Fritz, like at the beginning of the year, then like the thing became like, you know, robots versus the dinosaurs. And then I had to like, why would robots be fighting dinosaurs? Oh, of course, because they're time traveling robots that want to make more oil for the future.
It's only natural.
Yeah, exactly. Like the story writes itself, really.
Yeah.
And this is the one who really does all the time traveling right here.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is like bananas? The gatekeeper.
Huh? You using bananas for horns there?
Yes, these are bananas on the. So yeah,
man.
it's.
I'm gonna have to do a brick built dinosaur and make something bigger than that.
Yeah, and then I got the brick built dinosaur, which is like a undercover spy. You know, built to look like one of the. Huh?
Didn't you just build this?
Yeah. This one's the most recent, and then it has a little decoy robot that's supposed to look like a minifigure. Like this is robots interpreting what a minifigure should look like. They have their minifigure that they brick built on the back there to look like, you know, it's in charge and it's just one of the fellas. And then the actual thing in here that's the brain of the thing, the gastromech droid, is the one that does all the controlling of everything and the time travel communications.
Gastromech.
Yeah, we're no stranger to spies either. We have our little dinosaur.
So yeah, let's get. All right, let's take a look at what Cornado's got too.
So at first I knew Debo was using a lot of the Bionicle pieces to make it. So I decided to make a spy to go ahead and use their own time travel technology against them. So we got this guy, and he's actually a dinosaur.
And he's a dinosaur inside.
Yeah, inside the mech. So yeah, he's just going to kind of sneak in there and infiltrate him.
We should step back for a moment because you have a whole line of dinosaur reptilian transport vehicles, right?
Yes, the fart
fully
squad.
Armored reptilian transport.
Yeah, armored or armed, I guess. I don't know, but this is the latest one. The little play feature here. This is what I meant. Well, okay, because I started off kind of doing a lot of like, you know, robots and vehicles and stuff, and they're fun because you can have the play features, right? But with the modulars, it's like you can do play features, but you know, not as much. So that's why it's kind of getting back into these now. I think I've used almost every dinosaur that they've made though, so I'm gonna have to get creative here. Debo just really schooled me on the brick built dinosaurs, so
They
maybe
have the
I'll
Mighty
check that.
Dinosaurs set. You need to get the Mighty Dinosaurs set, the 3-in-1.
I was
Well,
thinking about
that or
getting
you could go like the old school dinosaurs they used to have, like that had like a separate leg piece for the front and the back, and like a couple different body chunks that you had to put together.
Yeah, I have a
Some-
couple of those. I was thinking about getting the Toy Story dinosaur as well.
Yes.
Yes,
Doing
there you
something with
go.
that. So some cartoon guns. So,
All right, so I've got you side by side, so you can attack each other, because I know you want to.
Oh,
There we go.
first blow landed right out of the gate, took his arm off.
That's so crazy. I was just gonna say how this one just fell off the shelf and exploded the other day, and I just had to put it back together. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got I loaded up on Bionicle pieces, so I got a ton
Oh
of these.
my God. So imagine, okay, so you two have been going back and forth between your builds. And the only reason why I know this is that Cornado at the end of a Tricky Lug meeting said, I'm coming after you, Debo.
Yeah. Speaking of South Park, he got served and now it's on. You know.
That's right. You got served. It's on.
It's on.
Oh my gosh. You guys crack me up. You guys are
served each
so
other.
much fun.
Oh,
So
thanks,
I just wanted to thank you both again. You guys have been awesome,
Oh, no
awesome,
problem.
awesome. And I hope that this has been fun for you. I know that I kind of roped you into being mods for my channel. Oh, look, is that, which one is that?
This is going to be the next
Chainsaw?
member of the fart squad right here. I'm going to build her some armor too, so I got to get bigger than those robots. So I'm going
Oh,
to go back on that idea. Say hi, Chainsaw.
Chainsaw's adorable.
So yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to stand a chance against that.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
got to go
the
big hair.
pompadour. I love that one.
Well, thanks again, guys. You've always been so gracious with your time and just helping me as mods on my channel. And you always make me laugh, and just your sense of humor is just hysterical. It's so much fun. And for those of you who don't know yet, follow Debo Bricks on both Instagram and YouTube. Cornado can be found on Instagram. And are there any other platforms that you're on, Cornado, besides Instagram?
I have the link tree on my Instagram profile. So
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. So check, because you might have a Flickr account and some other things
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that both
And-
the people that follow me on Flickr.
So Remy just said that there is a 1x8 lavender brick. So I think we're just gonna declare it now. There will be a hashtag lavender lug brick that you can earn if you build something massive or something, mostly lavender in some form or fashion. So we will put out details about that in our respective channels and promote the lavender lug. And Debo, what is that you're wearing?
There will be lavender. Oh, this is just old Exoforce Sentai Fortress thing. This is the gate that they travel back through when they're going home.
Okay, well, great.
Plus
Well,
it
thank
works
you,
great as
everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Cornado. Thank you,
No
Deebo
problem.
Bricks,
Thank you.
for being on the show. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and just say thank you, everyone, for all your support and your help. If you two can hang out a little bit, I'll close the stream down. But to everybody else, thank you so much for all your support. Let me go ahead and spotlight myself. So thank you, everyone. It's always been so much fun hanging out with this community. We're here to help each other out. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. Take care, everyone.